from the Father, but yeah, that's filioque. Right.
So this is going to be...
Filioque is like and the Son.
He's retarded. He doesn't understand that Augustine didn't hold his view. They say that. I don't know. It's like not a
Oh, because it doesn't affirm. Yeah, Augustine affirms filioque.
Yeah, it's just an old thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, whatever. They're all mushrikeen.
I want to give him a source from his own.
Okay, is what you were saying about the attributes? Say it again.
I was saying that you made the claim that me saying that God has multiple attributes. That's like saying that there's multiple gods.
Yes.
Okay. So God can only have one attribute, right?
What? No, it doesn't have
God
any
can only...
attributes. I don't think you understand because I said he's
What's
pure existence. That's not an attribute. It's just God himself.
what's an attribute?
Yeah, something said of the subject. But something said is not the subject in itself. So there's a distinction. Subject and predicate. For God there's no such thing. There's no distinction.
Can you write that down?
Break that down.
Yeah. Can you write that down?
Subject, predicate, for creatures. Okay, subject, bears. What is said about it? Okay. Yes.
Is said about it.
What's like...
Guys,
Forgot. Subject. Forgot with subject. Predicate. So there's no distinction.
or GD subject predicate.
You see that?
Guys,
Like what I put in the side chat?
What
Yes, I
does
see.
predicate mean, by the way? If I can
That
ask.
would just set up the subject. It's usually in sentences.
What can you explain what is X in there?
What? It's an attribute. You just made an equivalent sign to it.
Yeah.
What's an attribute? Yeah. Can you write what's an attribute?
A property or a thing of a thing that defines the thing. So usually
so it's a definition?
it's an entity that defines something. Yes.
An attribute is an entity?
Yes, it is.
What's an entity?
A thing that exists, such as a quark, an atom, a cell. These are entities. Okay,
Are all entities physical?
They're all composed of matter and form. Okay.
So
I just got muted in that guy's channel.
Yeah, wait. They're in the middle of the discussion.
So, okay, it's just an entity, bro. Pretty affirms this.
Look at the side chat. Do you affirm this?
Depends on what you mean by physical.
Means physical means that it's composed of matter, like the same, like atoms.
Well, I use matter differently. Matter just refers to the underlying substantium, which is the potential. So no.
Okay, so it's basically that.
Especially
It's
like
basically
quarks. According to you, quarks are not made of matter. They're not matter.
Okay, so quarks.
They're not physical because they're subatomic particles. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, an entity is something that's made out of quarks. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, so what is the matter?
No, it's just a being. It's composed of matter, form, and receives actuality from God.
Guys, out of pure confusion, right? Where do we get these definitions from exactly? Like the dictionary? Which one? Because we're just arguing about what this means or that means. Where is the actual definition coming from?
Online definitions.
Google?
You can just
Google, yeah, Google definitions.
What are you asking?
Because we're just arguing about definitions when you should use a standardized definitions for the argument to continue past this. That's all.
Aristotle gives definitions.
Okay, well, I already said entity is a being And
We should
being
use a
is
Alright.
matter, form, and so just with the arrow receives actuality. So
Guys, I'm just gonna pose this, like, you can ignore it if you want, but this is the definition of an entity according to Google, which uses the Oxford Dictionary. If you want to ignore it, it's fine, but we should really just use a standardized definition for words if we want the argument, the debate to continue. That's
sir,
all.
I already know. Just it's between me and Case. Okay,
My bad.
already told,
Continue, kiddo.
already
Continue,
told them.
kiddo. My bad. Continue, my bad.
Okay. Entity equals being, and being means the same thing as matter plus form, right? Which is then actualized by God, right?
Yes, actuality received. Yes.
And of course, you said that you define matter differently from me. And form just means size, like having
Well,
shape.
you're defining matter in terms of physics. We're talking about metaphysics, so of course it's going to be a different definition.
But form means size, right?
It
Height,
could be shape. It could be a specific pattern that defines the thing that it is. Yes.
size, weight, width. Okay, so it doesn't have to be size, weight, width. It could be a pattern. You said.
Size, weight, accidental properties. Yes.
Accidental properties.
Mhm.
And when you say accidental properties are included in this, you're aware that that definition itself is not what is commonly attributed to the term attribute
Yes.
when the context is
I
God.
don't believe God is accidents. I'm aware of that.
Oh my
No, no,
god.
no. I'm saying the term attribute, the
Okay.
definition for the term.
Well, why this? We're talking about attributes. Yes, sure. No.
Yeah, yeah. So, do you agree that the when you add accidental properties towards the definition of an
What is that? No,
attributes,
but sir, what is that? Nice. I know accident. You don't need to teach me Aristotelianism. We're talking about God. Why are you talking about this topic right now?
I'm asking, do you agree to this?
Yes, I agree. Accidental properties exist.
Okay, so when I say that God has attributes, why are you assuming your own definition
Well, what do you mean?
onto mine?
You also said form is equal to size, height, width, accidental. No, I didn't say that. It's just essential properties.
You didn't say that?
No, I didn't.
I'm telling you,
You
that's why
did.
we need standardized definitions, you guys. I'm telling you.
We just dude. I'm using Aristotle. What are you on about?
Okay, you mentioned.
Already knows. Already
So
knows.
you so
Attribute.
form
This is the
doesn't.
attribute is an entity.
Okay, form does form mean weight?
No.
Okay, so it doesn't mean weight, size, height, width. It just means accidental properties, right?
Should I give you standard encyclopedia of philosophy? Yeah, more
Guy,
definitions. Go read, educate
guys,
yourself.
something about Aristotle, he's a genius philosopher, but the guy
It
was
just
also, like born in like some.
Well, I don't care anyways. Just gonna mute this guy. It's annoying. Gonna make commentaries.
okay. So form from an Aristotle's theory of form, right? He's understanding it that it's the um, I'll try to put it in my own words. It's what makes up the object itself, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And that could be shape, it could be width. So if we're talking about
The other
being,
objects, such as in mereology, where you have a thing composed of more things that define it. That's what attributes could mean. Could mean.
and from an Aristotle understanding of form, right here, if we're talking about created beings and we're using the term form, then of course we're also going to be talking about something that has size and width, can be,
Yes, those are
experienced.
accidental properties. Yes.
Yeah, yes, yes. But if we're talking about God, then we talk about His form. Uh, the,
His form.
the the meaning of the term changes, right?
It doesn't have a form.
Or
It doesn't change. It doesn't have a form.
perfect. So if a Muslim talks to a Christian about form, what kind of form does God have, and this and that, right? You would affirm that none of them would impose that the divine aspect of God has any sort of physical form. Do you agree with this?
What physical form? Okay.
Something that has fingers, that's made of atoms.
Yes, sure.
Okay. But these Christians and Muslims, when they use the term form, they would use it in a way that could be applicable to God, meaning, for example, right, what is relative to God, right? And what is relative to God is his power, his ability to do things, right? So a form is just another way to say structure, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the structure of God, that's also that could be also identical to the term essence. It's the whatness of a thing. It's what a thing is.
God
So
doesn't have a structure. No, so it's not
no
gonna.
no issue, no issue. But what I'm saying is that form itself, when it comes to the common use of the term, do you think that your definition would be different from how Christians and Muslims would use it in a discussion about God?
No, not entirely. No.
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 Okay. All right.
It's for
All
created
right.
things, since Aristotle's philosophy is based on created things and observed phenomena of the world.